a new banking system can emerge. State-run banks, all 50 states, with crypto cybercurrency too, by states, and they have gold and make an mint currency and set value. Gold leaf money and coins along with other metals, things valuable. Give people accounts with credits on their money, saved securely so they can't lose their money. Credits that are there in case money is stolen, along with tax investments. Credits which can be exchanged for gold, other currencies, or other valuables or services. The cyber side can be private and state-run. The cyber banking credits gives you cash back and loans credit each month. Fractions are invested by bank, with everyone investing. By banking with them, it's stable to give advances and loans on money, and credits free. Some larger loans they can get at interest. With credits you have benefits, like bankruptcy insurance which you can pay some hundreds or more a year. To get insurance, priced higher the more money insured by government. Cash advances too, say you need more money now instead of end of month or year. You deposit funds in the account. You can even loan your money out to people and donate tax-free, and give loans for interest. Credits would be inflated to be worth more just in case needed, in reserve for a rainy day. A fraction is invested of the value of inflated money. Source money is made instantly. It's done for everyone. In the bank, it generates returns which pays the bank instantly. Savings accounts you can get for a small fee or no fees. For small accounts depends. Each state has their own bank. Federal government have a bank to fiat money, and they have loans they get from states. Everyone does business with them with similar banking practices, plus investment returns. All are connected. The feds are put on credit from the states by the people, allowing the feds to set budgets and print money too, and use their credits for the budget backed by the states. States' budgets answer to the state and people. States have budgets signed by people, showing them what states spend. People decided to loan the money or allow fiat credits to government. The budgets people vote for and representatives too, and states people and representatives also approve credits given to the federal budget to assure the people get out what they work for and don't become slaves to money or government. Also, private banks can be used too. Double banking is allowed, just not double spending. All is subtracted or taken into account. Double banking once to government bank, then once to private bank. Two types of banks in banking. If the money the government is credited is used right, then their loan is cleared and the budget met. Welfare, disability. Poor who can't pay bills or afford to feed themselves. Yes, all should get enough to survive and keep their homes, pay bills. As needed people out of work. In fact, all poor should receive a small government check to cover the basic with food stamps. If they can't take care of themselves, some more as needed, some less. Yes, it could cost hundreds of billions a year extra, but it's worth it to give people hundreds of dollars a month or even couple thousand or so. Do it through Social Security, but encourage them to put in job applications. Help them do that. And if you have children, grant them all the money they need to have kids and take care of them with the basics. It's not a lot to ask. Medicare, Medicaid, everyone should have Medicaid or Medicare any age, unless they want to insure themselves. In an emergency, government should pay for their citizens' health. Doctors' bills. Everyone who is sick deserves treatment at a doctor, even if they can't pay. You wouldn't tell someone they can't drive on roads if they made no money, didn't pay taxes. No, because it's our rights. Now assessing what they can afford, those with money make them do co-pays a little bit, but always give care, no matter pay or no. And let government pay doctors. Some doctors' hospitals charge way too much, like paying $300 for a bag of chips for just coming in, and they don't do anything. That's got to change. So just take the money for paying out the budget of government, which comes from the people and is a wise investment. Also, we should have military people that are doctors at home, serve at home, have government hospitals, and treat some people who can't afford anything. And all other hospitals who won't take anyone. People wanting to go to these hospitals can. The Good Samaritan took care of the man lying on the road. Others didn't. As a nation, let's be the Good Samaritan. Help each other. Let's give scholarships to those military or other people to become doctors and have some government hospitals. We do with ambulances, firefighters, police, wardens. What's the difference? And some people can pay for military doctors if they want, or have government pay if you covered everyone who needs it with Medicaid, Medicare, co-pays. Let's say 40 million people go to the doctor every year. They each cost $40,000 a year. That's only $1,600,000,000,000 a year. That's not a lot, and you would only cover the ones who can't pay, so way less than that, and not all bills would cost that much, way less. And if you invest in the health now, you won't be paying more later. If medical emergency arise that cost a lot but saves millions of lives, then paying trillions then to fix is worth it. Affordable Care Act already going to cost just as much. Medical marijuana in rare cases for sick should be allowed, or for pain relief, but not recreational use. But we shouldn't be putting people in jail for doing it. No long sentences. Let's just stop illegal sales. And we should have safety limits on its use and hospitalize the sick from smoking it. Only have licensed legal sellers in restricted places for medical use. Adult decisions or doctors and eating it could be done instead of smoking for sick if it helps. Social Security, welfare, food stamps, bill paying for poor. Everyone poor should receive these benefits on Medicaid, Medicare, and veterans pay and benefits should be increased drastically. Let's just take care of everyone under our current programs and give poor jobs in government, or an allowance of money, just enough, and allowances to start family. If you're sick, poor, it's paid for. Have government hospitals and doctors paid for by government. Free education from government or on internet, like joining the military. Free education for poor so they can work. We can afford it. It's way less than what we spend bailing out banks and creating stimulus monies and on healthcare insurance plans. Just give them the money instead when needed. And for better off people, they can pay little bit as they can afford payments. Government covers the rest, and they pay it back over a longer time period to government, or some of it. Don't deny care to anyone. Hospitals can still charge for care, but there would be alternate government hospitals. Let's set up poor with government state bank accounts. Give them credit when they earn more. Tax it to pay back government little by little, or invest to give them control and jobs in that. In the government. Responsibility. Pay it back only when they have more than enough. Made tax payments. Not illegal not to pay back, though it can be forgiven. Doesn't matter. Encouraged voluntary responsibility. Score incentives. Jobs are voluntary. This not affecting previous recipients of government money before the law took effect, or placed on before it affected law. Drug sentences. People who use drugs illegally should not be sent to jail, but drug rehabs, drug sellers, major ones, should be sent to government motels and be put on work program for a sentence of less than a year. While gangsters, drug dealers, organized crime, drug dealers that own major crime operations deserve close to 2 years or more, and for some their caused crimes actual jail time. Any crime worthy of jail should get jail time. Some. All should be on a work program. Proof. What is evidence? Proof. You need things that indicate they did it. Prove it without doubt. You need witnesses that can't and aren't possibly mistaken by any chance. Testimonies that convict and are backed up by proof and no reasonable doubt, like someone's lying or framing. Even fingerprints, if there's an alternative reason for them to be there other than crime, can't be proof alone. It can just be circumstantial evidence. All this is. Motive is circumstantial, but tags pictures that collaborate and aren't forged. No other reason. Our proof. More than one eyewitness helps. DNA helps if it's not a mistake, but someone innocent could be in the wrong place at the wrong time and get framed or caught up not intending wrong boxed in. Looks can be deceiving. So also, we can't pressure prosecute them or arrest them, but we can keep an eye on suspects. The best way to catch is in the act and then back that up infallibly if we have such indicators of proof. Arrest and try them. Just because someone runs away in fear of police or doesn't cooperate does not make them guilty, just scared of police, and that could be for no reason. It's not proof. The Bill of Rights allows people to flee to other states to seek true justice. And that may be illegal today. Any evidence that doesn't outright prove the guilt, just that they were in a scene maybe for another reason, is circumstantially evidence within reason, hence reasonable doubt. Police work must be done even in the face of proof to try and find evidence they're not guilty, and it's all misunderstanding. You have to take all in all and prove beyond reasonable doubt to convict in fair court and determine if they deserve a sentence based on their story. All stories should be told, hearing all sides taken into account in sentencing, and deserving sentence like mercy could be given by judge who believes story or others. How do you judge a man who does not know if he is guilty or innocent? Hence crazy to doubt even 1%, and the USA Constitution says instead for bad people in jail we can make them work to pay back or punish, but never cruel or other. Sex offenders should get jail for major offense and some minor without consent, except 2 teenagers just having sex underage. Consent may be other things too. Non-consent is in most cases as good as rape in a sex offense, or no reason to be having illegal sex offenses like rape, and even abuse especially, that gets jail. Also, minor assault shouldn't get jail, bar fight or other. If someone is threatened in a fight or in defense, or something part of that, then kill someone, no death penalty. Jail rehabilitation work program if it's a crime, and eventual release to refuge city. Away from trouble if they deserve release. If they truly deserve release, they can go anywhere free. Crazy killing or like that accident or close to. Rehabilitate, release away from trouble under a program or place restricted freedom if they deserve it and it's voted by judge or jury. So, business freedom. Why don't we have freedom? If I own a bookshop, I sell books, I sell Bibles. Government comes in and says, hey, sell the Muslim book, and I'm a Christian. Or I own a store selling my favorite team's apparel, and someone comes in and says, hey, sell the rival team's apparel in a southern state. What? No way, I would never betray my faith or team like that. I thought we were the land of the free, not the home of the slave. The government does not own its people as slaves. We are free. Would you tell a university to sell their rival team stuff? No. If you're Muslim, give your business to a Muslim for those issues. If you're gay, to a gay for those issues. Or a team for a team. Net neutrality. Our internet should remain free, and the way it is capitalistic but open and free. If government wants to stop investing in spying on the public computer farms and use that to speed up poor websites with more power, go ahead. Just don't tell someone who pays for websites like Google, Facebook, that they have to share their web power that they bought and run slower. Websites, should they restrict my free speech? Not if free speech is what they're selling, that can't be allowed to change the world by cheating people their rights. That doesn't mean criminal talk can't be cut off like terrorist murder, hate speech, criminal. But if socializing free speech is what you're selling, you can't ban free speech for political censorship. That's a violation of the law. What about algorithms that censor according to rules but allows free speech, but restricts only to what people see on their network? If that's what you're selling, but don't just change the entire internet to do that and block someone else's free rights. If you're selling an open platform, it should be open. Mostly. There can be some organization, but you have to be honest about that. If you're advertised as completely free, open, and you produce an algorithm that inhibits freedom and fairness of legal business, I would say people have the right to create an app that others can use and change your algorithm and still use your product if free. Free or no stealing, and you have to allow and accommodate it. Why not custom algorithms? Make those available to all that you allow, or allow a third-party app you trust. City-run water and trash, it should be free. It's our water, our government. Why pay money for what's ours so the corrupt can steal it? We all contribute to this government in various ways. Let's not cheat ourselves. It already comes from taxes, trash-free too. For those that say we don't have police station waiting rooms, or timeout centers, or consoling, or government motels, well, you do have DHR buildings where you can take them for hours to process them instead of jail for proven crimes minor. You still have caseworkers, test school counselors that can assist, still have police and parenting to resolve, community services, camps for kids, programs that keeps kids out of jail scares. And you can do some or all of that with adults too. And in South, they have what they call a townhouse, where sometimes rarely special programs. They let minor criminals go instead of night in jail, resolving trouble. And what about real hospitals in case they're sick instead of mental health? Some of these people have been abused, but you would never know it. They call them crazy. Death penalty. Should we kill a prisoner for committing murder? An eye for an eye. A tooth for a tooth. Ethically, we shouldn't commit murder to punish. It's still murder. God put a mark on Cain, so no one would kill him, or receive sevenfold. It's wrong, and we should make them useful slaves instead. At least in war, a soldier fighting for the right side is saving lives, making it better, safer in the world to live free and live good. Killing a murder executing serves no purpose. Having a worker slave does. As a nation, we have to be better than this. Public schools evolution taught in schools a religious belief we came from monkeys and that everything came from nothing. It's a theory, no proof, and a lot of disproof. No one can really ever prove anything when they weren't there. Without pictures, the question, where did humanity life begin, should not be taught in public schools. Origins and things that can't be proven should not be taught in the public schools. Should we teach creation instead as fact? No, while there is a lot of proof for the biblical accounts, the flood, the Bible, and creation, since we weren't there, we shouldn't teach it in public schools as fact. That doesn't mean there can't be special classes to present the creation Bible theory voluntary. And we are a country founded on the Bible. The Bible also can be taught in a historical way. But yes, maybe we should hear a page summing up the theory of evolution and learn what others believe as a theory, but not as fact. Also, we need freedom in public schools to say Pledge of Allegiance, to pray to our Creator, and to talk to others about our faith and read the Bible. Teachers shouldn't be fired for appropriately sharing the Christian faith in a God-loving country. Freedom of religion to all as well. Supreme Court scam. Judges on the Supreme Court of the USA are appointed for life. Let's put this in perspective. An elected president appoints the judge when one or more judge dies. Now in the future, if we invent immorality, we have them forever until then. An elected judge from one time where some Americans felt one way. Elect a leader. They pick a judge for life to be outlawed for life. Because even if we elect new leaders with new positions, the judges will remain the same. Even if an election is close and some didn't vote, or the way a leader feels on an issue is not the way all Americans feel on it, he can pick a judge who feels the same way. Why don't the people get to decide the laws, not random people? It is government for and by the people, and lives are getting longer all the time, not the way our founders planned it. Solution: the people should elect the court every 4 years, every member. Bill of Rights 17th article: the powers not delegated by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it, to the states, are reserved to the states respectively. When judges violate states' rights, you know it's time for a change. Tobacco kills people. Cancer, smoking. Addiction. People give others secondhand smoke. Dangerous, so why would you ban weed, which isn't as harmful in recreational use, although it gets you dangerously high? So gradual to save millions of lives, increase life. We have to ban tobacco, set limits. First, set limits on how much people can buy to smoke. Intake. Raise taxes on it per pack at the register to 150%, double and a half per pack, part to state, part to city, part to fed. 50-50-50. Then after a campaign to encourage quitting and enough people to let those people ban selling of tobacco and tax penalize the tobacco companies, raised their tax the same piece by piece to phase it out. ban smoking in public or around other people who don't smoke, and raise taxes a quarter or more every year up to 150%. Smoking at stores. People smoke everywhere, at job site, outside public stores, in cabs, in restaurants, in their yards, blowing to next door, in neighborhoods. Other people who don't smoke pick up second-hand smoke. It's not healthy. People shouldn't be allowed to smoke in parking lots, on stores, in cabs, etc. Alcohol drinking. It's bad for health, deteriorating health and lives. It makes people kill people when driving and act crazy. Crazy teenagers are the worst. So we shouldn't allow teens to drink beer. We should tax beer 75% and register raise up to that over so many years. Tax beer sellers companies more. After so many decades of telling people not to drink, we can talk if all are in agreement to ban it, or to force sellers to lower the potency. Invent non-toxic, non-alcohol beer. Beer that invented can get you happy but not impaired drunk. And yes, limit people's ability to buy large amounts of beer. Monitor their intake by internet apps that show who's drunk too much, and watch those who voluntarily to do this at bars or in homes who don't go out in public driving drunk. Use the NSA. Ban the selling in stores of certain types of beer, but never outright ban the right to drink in a homemade brewer. Just no selling in stores where teens can get it. Restricted sale to some. In restricted use. Make beer safer, organic, non-harmful. Don't restrict all wine, but most alcohol and not just beer. And ban some alcohol. Or restrict it. Dogs unleashed, wandering neighborhoods and streets. Some could kill someone, others just bark and bite people who enjoy walking in the neighborhood or going outside. Can't. Plus dogs poop in yards and disturb the peace by barking at all hours. No dogs should ever be allowed to wander for our safety, just as much as theirs. They could get ran over. This should be illegal. Dogs should be picked up, but really nice dogs, tiny, small, don't bark, don't bite. Certain types certified as good nice dogs can be allowed out. Like if they're like cats, nice cats, but should still be left in the yard, but don't have to pick them up every time they get out. Policy. The rest should be impounded, banned from neighborhoods, and yes, they should all be kept on a leash. Immigration. Migrants from Mexico. We need to seal our borders right. I mean, what if those drug lords start a war in our country, sneaking across our borders? Build a wall fence, they say. And what about the spread of disease from the border? We must help the Mexican people fight disease. Clean up the drugs in the war. They have to, in return, seal their side of the border too. And help. And what about migrants already here? We need a path to citizenship for some of them. People who have been here years and have nothing else. America, refugees to our land. We first need to teach them English, educate them, and make sure they follow the path to citizenship like everyone else. Failure to do so, I'm sorry. My solution: we should deport and restrict those who don't follow the rules, and some criminals who don't follow the path. We also need to verify, better screen those who come into this country and monitor them for when it's time to leave, and build a fence wall out of strong materials that can't be cut. Do our own tunneling and put some of the fences underground, and search guard the boards, bust gangs, and tunnels. Clean it out. People who have been here years, who aren't major criminals, we shouldn't deport. Those who are criminals who haven't been here years and don't follow path to citizenship or just crossed the border with no family here, let's deport them. Then later they can get at the back of the line to come legal under some program. It doesn't mean we send everyone home who overstays or don't follow path, but for those who overstay and try to forge some path to citizenship, we offer it and don't deport them. That doesn't mean we make it so all stay. If we don't want them, they can always self-deport. Seal the border, keep new immigrants from coming in, and deport them as they cross recently. Unless they have family member here and they go on path to citizenship, the ones we deport can get in line, come in legally later. Build fences on cut material, underground, block tunnels, and verify legals so they don't overstay. Have legal immigration work programs, allow safe migrants to come in through a guest or path to be a citizen program the right way. from around the world for bad places really check and profile who they are. For refugees, make sure they're favorable towards America first and then send them to only have remote access restricted in USA, not free roaming safe sites, and in other places only the good. Global warming, man's pollution, they say the cars we drive, the nuclear power plants, the factories putting waste into the air, is destroying the environment. I think they're right. Our air is polluted, the atmosphere is being hurt by this. We should stop unneeded pollution, get rid of factories polluting. Make them new and safer. Switch to electric solar cars. Phase out nuclear waste from power plants. And change the power systems on airplanes. To be less polluting, invent new things. Cleaner energy. Stop testing new bombs, nukes. Only do essential space rocket flights for scientific reasons, not joyrides. And start inventing ways of cleaning up our world. And do it, clean it up. Clean up our waters, get the junk out of them. Purify them. But is cars and all this making the planet warmer? Maybe a little, but not really that much. And it's not all man's fault. Nature has volcanoes that do contribute to. So no, don't believe in most global warming extremism. It's not that bad. But we do need to protect the environment. Gay lesbian rights believe in gay lesbian rights if they want to be counted as being together in a relationship. Okay, fine, census facts and give them their rights for that registered. But they cannot be counted in marriage. They are not male-female in this country. You can't have a 3 people married to each other situation counted by law. Because it's between a man and woman and they can have kids. Big difference there. Marriage is between one man, one woman as ordained and counted by government. Anything else we don't count. It's not illegal but just should not be counted. You wouldn't have a mother and her child married. Our culture agrees that's wrong and an abomination. Homosexual marriage, woman on woman, man on man, or more than one woman, or mixed things. What can people marry? The concept of marriage started in the church and government had to monitor it for legal reasons. In the beginning they were male and female, that is why we are here. A man and a woman engage in a contract of marriage with the possibility of having kids and starting a family to become one family properly in a clean way. The lifestyle of gay marriages are unclean and an abomination. If gay people want to get married, report that to government that you're in a relationship living together, and then file for whatever benefits you deserve instead of making Christians and government marry you that don't want to. Marriage is about life, not just sex. As far as government is concerned, that defines marriage between one man, one woman. Anything else is a relationship. If LG people want to marry, form your own organization and marry yourselves. No one is stopping that. Instead of a Supreme Court unelected old people taking states' rights away to ban LG marriage, states that don't have any reason to do non-traditional marriage. Traditional marriage government keeps up with to monitor future citizens' kids, protect new families and give benefits to recognize them. Support families, babies. A same gender roommate you sleep with is different from a traditional marriage that needs to be counted. It's a convent contract a male and a female enter into and promise to live by. That government monitors and officiates whenever there's problems. It's responsibility. Divorce. Governments can perform. With LG people, are they ready to have responsibility to settle? For only one, have government tell them what they can do. Divorce when they can, or who or how many at what time. The family they can be in. To count as a marriage, you decide what's the government's job. The rights and benefits of the blood-related immediate family comes first. Gambling. Gambling, it's not a fair source of income and only leads to disaster. If I ran a store that I sold mystery boxes on what food you could get and charge way too much, that wouldn't be legal. It's a scam. Scams are illegal. The house always cheats and casinos and always win. I think at least ban casinos. Lottery shouldn't be the government's problem. That's not their job. It's so small for a ticket, though it's not worth national banning, but limits should be placed on betting too much, and for sports bets should be illegal, and especially betting large amounts you can't afford should be illegal. Needs to start to be high. Gambling taxes. Insurance. Nuclear power waste. Nuclear power, should we have it? Well, we already do, so let's make the best of it. But should we build more power plants nuclear? Remember Japan Fukushima, where their power plant melted down and messed up the air and area, made it unsafe around there. Nuclear rods boring into the ground, nuclear waste being poured into the ocean, killing the ocean. People's lives at risk. Damage to people's health. Had it been worse, thousands or hundreds of thousands could have died. They're not even trying right now to clean it up. 2015. Nuclear power is not the way to go. It's dangerous and pollutes unhealthy. What should we do? Solar power, better solar materials to produce more power, combined with wind, geothermal energy from the ground. Coal even. Invent new power sources even better and phase out the nukes. Tens of thousands of nukes, atomics. Russia has thousands, China has hundreds. Other nations have nukes. Do we really need all these nukes? Enough to destroy everything on the planet. And all the money we waste on nukes and big weapons. The nuke is old-fashioned. We could get better weapons and not as destructive that do the job. And invest in flight space. Solution: we should greatly reduce our nukes and other countries should do the same. Let's beat our swords into plows. USA and Russia have no need to be at each other. Cold War is over. We believe in God the same. What reason do we have to fight? None. Let's be together. And none of us have any reason to destroy everything just to be better than the other countries. We need new invention for breaking down nuclear waste and material, and let's do it, clean it all up, and stop pouring it into the ground to dispose and pollute our water and planet, and create energy defense that renders bombed explosive power useless. Invent new power sources even better and phase out the nukes. Halloween governor holiday. Why should the government have a holiday that's of Satan, pagan, with witches, death on our calendars that offends more than half the population? Even those that aren't offended don't like the bad satanic side and just want reform on the holiday. Solution: there should be another holiday around September and October for dressing up in costumes, but not satanic ones in this tradition. And go to door saying, "Hi, how are you? How are things? Can I please have you now? Candy if you have some." And be festive without Satan and magic, witchcraft, all of Satan. Now if others still want to celebrate Halloween, they can, but it won't be an American tradition. But if someone dress up and comes to my door as a satanic symbol saying trick or treat, they won't get any candy on Halloween. New holiday, call a costume or give me candy a day, which you don't have to dress up to get candy, but at least say, "How are you?" and talk at the door. Be friendly. Could be a learning day of friendliness and neighborship for kids, and at home you could eat fall dinners, maybe even give gifts. Transgender, I don't believe in it. You're either a man or woman, whether you're underdeveloped, unique, or unique or not. You will know, so stop believing lie. We already have unisex bathrooms. This transgender is not the government's business. The practice of non-medical amputation is unique. Uniques. People or non-medical sex enhances changes, or a person with extra sex body part transplant from another. That is government business, the same as we don't allow cutting and suicide. Although the same community wants government to assist in suicide for anyone as a permanent forced life killing. Our government, no suicide period or amputation for sex enhancement, unless you grow a tail and are a woman or a man with one on his behind, or too many fingers or toes. Exceptions, then surgery only. Other. Although babies, old people may need assistance in bathrooms by another, but we should only really allow that for other genders in bathrooms, only family bathrooms. Under adults, young rights, 14-year-olds should be able to get the learner's driver's permit. Age 15 should get driver's license. 13 age should be able to vote. As same as adults. There should be school child voting programs. Children under 13 age should be educated at schools, hearing both side issues and on their own vote at school or in town under school programs as their secret who or what vote for. Like age 10 and up. Work permits should be free. Teens, children should be allowed to hold guns owned by parents, directed by parents, but not to carry at schools or around. And the rules on age to run for offices should be changed unless you're like under age 13. Local offices. President age 21 above and other major offices. Age 18 up.